Hey folks, welcome to Affiliate Nerd Out. I am your nerderator, Dustin House. Spread that good word about affiliate marketing. You're going to find me here every Thursday at 12:15 Pacific time. So put it on the calendar and join me and my guest today, Nick, old buddy of mine in the industry. Nick, welcome to the Nerdatorium, sir.
Thanks, Dustin. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine as always. I always get my energy up doing these kinds of things. It's that live button turns on and like all this endorphins come out of me and I get my energy and I burst and I'm always set to go.
This man gets it.
All right, if you'd like to be in Nick's seat, come be my guest. Go to dustinhouse.com/nerd and drop in a topic that you'd like to nerd out about. Let's talk through it. Question of the day, or QUD as I like to call it. What are you finding value in sponsoring YouTube's? Are you I don't know why I put what in there. Are you finding value in sponsoring YouTube's? That is not a question for you, Nick. That is a question for the audience. I don't know who's out there using YouTube as a venue, but let's find out. But without further ado, Nick, who are you?
Who am I? This person on your screen. So my name is Nick. I am the affiliate manager at Envato, which is a creative ecosystem for digital creatives around the world. Could be video editors, graphic designers, typographers, anything inside the creative portfolio. We have something for you. More specifically, our subscription product, which is for like $16.50 a month. You get access to about 19 million digital assets. That would include WordPress themes. It would include stock photos, footage, After Effects templates, the entire creative like resource center. You can get that in one subscription format. And yeah, it's rather popular. So I oversee the affiliate channel. And when you work inside of the affiliate channel for a creative product, you can't get around YouTube. You just can't, because that's where creative professionals go to learn, get up to speed with everything that's moving in the industry. If there's a new software update, is to YouTube they go. So that's the background for why having me on here makes sense, because that has fallen to me as the affiliate manager at Envato to kind of onboard that into my work.
Yeah, I love that you've embraced the fact of influencer and affiliate is a combination, and you're handling both sides of that equation. Now,
Yeah.
within your team internally in Envato, do you guys have a somebody focused on influencers and finding the
Mhm.
right people? Somebody focused on uh, true affiliates, email affiliates, what have you? Like, how's that split up
Yeah.
on your team?
It's a good question. We have a social media team which is doing our own internal social media, and
Hmm.
they have a smaller responsibility on influencers, meaning they give access to like free accounts for the product in exchange of a few, tweets or a few Instagram stories and something like that. It's very minor and is all of the nano influencers.
Hmm.
Where we pitch it over to the bigger players, that's where we realize we have to give them some kind of budget to work around with. And historically at Envato, when it comes to working with external talent and it comes to paid advertisement that isn't specifically programmatic, that falls within the affiliate portfolio. And that's where I'm sitting with it. Now, I know that there's a lot of brands out there that have an entire team dedicated to influencers, which very often have nothing to do with affiliates. So if you look at over at Wix.com, for instance, you have Sarah Adam who run their team there. And I was talking to her the other day about influencer management. She was like, no, we don't do affiliates. No, my team is specifically and exclusively on influencer,
Hmm.
pretty much upfront payment alone. But that is a luxury to
Yeah.
have an entire influencer team. We do not at present time have that luxury. So it falls within me to find a way to make it work.
Okay. Well, fair enough. As long as you stay organized, and you've been there 10 years, which is just unfathomable to me, being a career job jumper as I am. Like,
Yeah.
unbelievable. You've stuck it out that long, and you
Yeah.
must really enjoy what you do if and working for that company.
Yeah, it was the kind of company where I knew for years before I applied that it was my dream job.
Oh,
So in 2010, I began a degree as a multimedia designer, which is someone who does video editing, someone who does typography, who does web development. I sucked. I was so bad at all three. I was no good at what I did.
Okay.
And I went to school, to design school, to try to learn all these things.
Yeah.
And the more I gave it a try, the more I realized, God, there's no digital Picasso inside of here. Okay, there's nothing
Ah,
there. So I
funny.
went online and I went to Google and I was Googling how to be an actual digital graphic designer. And this website came up called Envato Touch Plus, which was this digital school online. And I started enrolling in courses and I started learning. And my degrees and my grades went from poor to average to quite good after about a year and a half of this. And that's when I discovered they sold templates too.
Hmm.
So for the client work that I did, these people who had taught me everything I knew had this big marketplace where I could take a deal from a client at the agency I was working at the time, and we could turn around the creative process of delivering that project significantly faster. And I love what they were doing. So for 2 years, while I was finishing my degree, doing part time at an agency, I knew that when I was done, I was going to give it my all and try to send them an application, knowing that I would probably get rejected. I would never get this job. But I told them, I don't care what I have to do for you. I don't have a role in mind. I will wash the floors. I will work in the kitchens. I don't care, because you have helped me, finish this degree and reshape my confidence. So
Yeah.
I will work for you no matter what it takes. And they hired me.
Uh,
So
that's incredible. What a story. And I love the concept of you not having a time frame on your dream of like a career, right? It's something I think. I mean, I don't follow that at all. I have a vision of like where I want to be in some years, and
yeah.
the podcast and all the things that I do is kind of a stepping stone to get there.
Mm.
But I've never had of like, hey, I'm going to be at this company in this amount of time. What do I need to do to get there? That's a great vision that you have, man.
Yeah, well, I suppose there's a challenge in that, because when been doing that for a while, when you reach your dream and you're finally here, you're like, wow, I'm enjoying this. At some point, I don't know if it's a pending midlife crisis I'm heading to, but there's a part of me that's thinking, like, is there something else I should be doing? So I've been trying to lean into doing stuff in the creative industry. Like myself, I've run a blog for a couple of months, and did very well, went to 88,000 visits per month in the VR space.
Dang.
I had a YouTube channel. It's a few thousand away from hitting the first million views. I've been
Okay.
building these things just for the fun of it, and I'm still learning and trying to figure out what I want. I don't think you have to finish that when you land at that dream company, because that's a very shallow and boring way to think. The journey never ends when you think it does. So I'm having a great time here, but it's a continuous process.
Yeah. Well, I'm always encouraging the affiliate managers that are listening to this to continue on their dreams and their side hustles. Like, don't give up on being a creator yourself in the long run. I'm glad to hear you're doing that. But I want to get into our topic of the day, and that is lessons from 1,000 plus YouTube sponsors. First off, this number seems absolutely ludicrous, but when you break it down into 10 years, you're averaging 100 a year. Maybe that's, a dozen a month ish. Like, that's not terrible. Like, when you put it in that perspective, but I am still blown away by this number. Like, how did we get there?
Mm.
First off, I want to learn sponsoring YouTube content. Give me the rundown of what it is. Like, how do we do this?
Okay. So how we do it is an industry in its own right. But what it is essentially is you working as an affiliate manager or an influence manager at any particular company. Look for people that cater to your specific audience, whether it's through entertainment or education.
Mhm.
Try to find out who's talking to your target demographic. Find out why your audience is so infatuated with these YouTubers and creators, and try to find a way for them to naturally, in the nature of the content, mention and have your brand as part of the video. There's a lot of folks out there who think, okay, I'm going to book a video, I'm going to be included in a 15-second segment, and think that's going to work. And historically speaking, for us, that very rarely has worked.
Hmm.
But yeah, in essence, find someone inside of your particular vertical, whatever your vertical is. Find out who the top voices talking to your key consumers are, and get in those videos. Make sure that we got on camera time where they're talking to the camera and leaning into that authority they have in the space. And yeah, there's not really much more to it in terms of like table stakes.
Mm,
Talking about just what it is. It's pretty simple. Have someone inside your industry talk to their audience about a product you're selling. It's
okay.
really that's all it is.
Awesome. That just brings up an idea of like, how about a survey of people that buy your product who their favorite YouTuber is? Like, just
Yeah.
doing that. Maybe that's a lead generation for you to like tap into in the future. I've never even thought about in concept. All right. So tell me about the process. You I do you identify the people that you think are needle movers first, and then you go and reach out to them? Tell us about this entire process.
Yeah, well, it's a good question. It's initially when we kicked this off, we had not worked a lot with YouTubers in the past. We had a big affiliate program. When you have a big affiliate program, you know that there's going to be a lot of different traffic sources. I mean, you're going to review them as an affiliate manager to begin with, and you're going to see there's some few YouTube channels. And all right, so they've been given access to our affiliate program, and we have, monitored YouTube to see, okay, how are they natively promoting our affiliate program in their video? So we knew that they were out there.
Okay.
But the process, I think, is well, you can go about it in a multitude of different ways.
Okay.
The way I went about it was I looked for the keywords that we sell. So, for instance, we do a lot of After Effects. After Effects is a piece of software for video editors. So, I looked for After Effects tutorials. I went to do a YouTube search on that, and I searched specifically for the channels. And then I used a Chrome extension called Data Miner. Data Miner will take anything that is built in a tabled or structured format, and it can help scrape that for you. So the
Okay.
way I went about it here was I typed in After Effects tutorials, saw the results on YouTube. I switched the search so that I could only see channels. I told this Chrome extension, this is what I want to put in the A column in a spreadsheet, which would be their name. In B column, I want you to do the same thing, but rather than grabbing the piece of text, I want you to give me the link. Then I want you to give me the amount of videos they've done, how many videos they've done. Because at that point, I can divide the amount of video views by the amount of videos produced, and I will have an average views per video. So I use this Chrome extension, and I scroll all the way to the bottom. And once I'm all the way at the bottom, you can do a quick data extraction, and here's a list. And then you just go through it. I go through it. I'm like, okay, which ones of these look like they would be okay, knowing the fact that we've never sponsored someone before. So we're probably looking for nano or just above nano. And
Okay.
we're trying to find out if they have a high views per video. Now, a lot of creators out there, they go for the largest volume of subscribers, which is a huge mistake. Because if you go after the creators with the most subscribers, well, you're not taking into account that when you run a YouTube channel, like not a lot of your views are going to come from your subscribers. They're going to come from when your video is recommended to others. It's going
Okay.
to come from when the keywords embedded in your video, in the caption script, in the title, in your description is so relevant for another video that is maybe doing very well that yours is going to be up next, right? So look for the views per video. That to me is the metric that I focus on. So that's one way to go about it. There's other tools and tips out there. Depending on what you're going for, they can be more or less simple. But this was the DIY hack that I used when I first got started.
Very nice. I love it. You dropped a couple of really nice tools in there. I use Instant Data Scraper
Mm.
myself, but you said Data Miner. Uh,
Data miner, yeah.
yeah, we'll come back to and talk about tools a little bit further.
Mm,
But for the most part, once you do this process and you
mm,
identify the ones that you want to work with, what is working for you here in
yeah,
terms of how we go about reaching out to them?
yeah. So I like to lean in on Fiverr It's going to sound weird, but I get a lot of this stuff scraped either through these DIY tools or using tools like Falcon, Brandwatch, Affistash. There's a lot of great tools out there that can help you do this kind of data mining. But when you have a big list of folks that you like to reach out to, I like to pass it on to Fiverr and just have them give it to me in an afternoon for like $15, and that has been very helpful. But when I have my list, when I'm sitting here with a list of email addresses, um, I like to go after the ones that are just getting started and kind of finding success. So the creators that are new, but I can see whatever they're doing works. So
Hmm.
if the views per video is disproportionate to the level of subscribers and the join date to YouTube, I zone in on it, particularly if it's well branded or I pick up a vibrant personality.
All right.
So for those of you who may be watching, I could give you an example right now. There is a YouTuber called Hello Corey. Hello, and then Corey with a Q, who is, I believe, an Atlanta-based art director. And she has so much sass and native like entertainment in her way of going about things. She's so charismatic, but she's just getting started. But the few videos she's been doing are hitting the 1,000+ views per video. Some of them way beyond that. And for someone who's just getting started and who's got the video production where I'm like, okay, this is going to kick off very soon, I go to Social Blade and see, yeah, she is indeed on a quite interesting growth trajectory. I go after it. Another example is when I was in design school, I did Photoshop competitions for the fun of it. Now, the creative industry, we need Photoshop artists. And a couple of years ago, I think this was like 2018, it was around Christmas time. I was sitting around YouTube looking for Photoshop artists. And this guy came up with a Dutch accent. This little guy, it must have been like 18, 19, who was photoshopping Hagrid's hut. You know, if you've ever read the Harry Potter books, Hagrid's hut. So he was tossing in like these what are they? They're pumpkins for Halloween, and he put them on near Hagrid's hut, and he manipulated this thing to look incredibly cinematic, and it was fun. It was up pace. He only had about, I don't know, 1,900 to a bit more subscribers, but it was so entertaining. It was so fun, and from
Hmm.
what I could see, his channel just kept kicking off at that very lower level. So I offered him a lump sum per
Okay.
video. And I was like, I would like, and I always do this. I tell them, here's how much I'm going to pay you up front. I'm going to pay you 3 times. I'm going to pay you once a month for 3 months. That's going to be the test, because then we will have 90 days of somewhat data. We'll have an idea. We'll get them a chance to do more than one video. But I did this with this 19-year-old guy from Holland. And since then, because it was so vibrant and so fun, and the growth trajectory was so good, he is now at 2.19 million subscribers to his channel. His channel has contributed tens of millions of views to our database of affiliate viewers, one of our biggest talents.
Hmm.
And just last year, I had our CEO send a message out saying, listen, Benny, congratulations on hitting 1 million subscribers. And that was like a year ago, right? He's now at 2 million. So
Ah,
find the people that get you excited about whichever industry you're in. Find out if they're doing very well early on, and go in early. Go in early. Long-term
right.
contract. That's how I have found about it, because in my industry, I can find some of the bigger brands to start off with. There are brands out there whose average views is in the hundreds of thousands, but who will also want hundreds of thousands to sponsor a video or for you
Sure.
to, yeah. So yeah, find the ones that are like nano influencers that are doing well, that you get excited about, and make their day, because
Love
they
that.
will remember that as well, right?
Love that story. I've done this quite a few times myself with several
Mm,
different brands in the
yeah.
YouTube space where uh, find low subscribers but high talent, and
Mm,
the high views makes a lot of sense that they have naturally figured out how to rank algorithmically.
yeah.
That's a big key component as well. But what I've never done is work on a sponsorship package for somebody with that few of viewership, because traditionally it doesn't have that kind of value that you can put a number behind and really like put an upfront number behind. You want them to
Mm.
work on commission basis only. But I like your strategy of
Mm.
3 months. What do you pay a guy with 2,000 subscribers for a 3-month contract like that?
Yeah, well, I never pay anyone less than $150 a video because I
Okay.
find it insulting for anyone to do that. And honestly, I would like 150 per video. That is if you have next to nothing. If you
Okay.
are at the absolute floor, nothing, you're getting a few hundred views per video, I'll offer you $150 a video once a month for 3 months. Fine. But I will
Okay.
let you have commission on top of that, right? So in case they
Great.
really kick off, you're going to be, rewarded for that. I often tend to go the split commission way because I want to dignify the creator with like, I'm not going to ask you to do something unless you know it's going to generate some kind of revenue stream, because YouTubers, you have a lot of effort to put into the video to begin with. So I want there to be an element of an upfront payment. And then I don't want there to be a roof. I want you, very often I'd like to get you a custom commission as well. So I want you to get excited about the prospect of a very successful video. So I try to do both. Um, Sometimes we do upfront only. But the people who have made the most money, I have people who have made hundreds of thousands of dollars from one single video who are just doing affiliates. So, it
Yeah.
depends.
Adding skin in the game, super
Yeah.
important in my opinion,
Yeah.
for any of these influencers that you're working with. Make sure that they
Mm.
are motivated to close that sale. And you have such a product that these things can close on just one person's recommendation.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And the one of the wonderful things about doing this, once you start getting on board with people who try to take the views out of the equation for a moment. I know you have an ROI target to meet, but when you sell this to the rest of the business, you got to think of a few other things here. One of the things is if you get great YouTube content, you can recirculate that to your other channels. You can resurface that on your company's Facebook page, on your Instagram profile. You can bring this out as customer stories, because very often these people are going to be customers as well. So you can recirculate this content. And something I learned from your course as well, I want to bring this in here because it's very relevant. Dustin, for those who don't know, Dustin also has a course, Performance Marketing Manager. .com, which I'm doing. One of the things you mentioned there was when you have an affiliate program, why don't you tell your affiliates that, hey, everyone, whoever creates the most amazing YouTube video next month, yeah, I'll pay you $500. And you recommended that as a tactic. We've been using it for like 6 months now,
Awesome.
and we're loving it. We're loving it. It's just a continuous feed, a continuous stream of top tier content. But sorry, I'm on a side trajectory here. I just want to like bring it up. Like, yeah, it has value in ROI if you do it well over a long time. You have to be patient, but it also has marketing value, and you can resurface this to your other channels, and also paid. You can take some of these sponsorship segment that you've done for YouTubers, stitch them together, work with your paid team, and have them repurpose this stuff as paid ads, as pre-roll ads, as video ads. It's think about it not just from the affiliate lens, but try to look at it from a multi-channel perspective.
Great
Yeah.
call. And I'm glad you had some good takeaways from the course. I was really surprised that I landed a veteran like yourself to join my course with 8 years experience. But you seem like you're an eternal learner, and I love that about you. And you brought so much value to the community as well. So I'm
Thank
so glad we met in that nature. So great call on the contests that you're pulling off. Good to
you.
hear
Yeah. Well,
that you're getting some great content out of it. That's a strategy I love telling people about. Like, and it's something I found from Rank Math that was doing it really
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
just paying $200 for the best piece of video, and you might get 100 videos submitted for that month.
Yeah.
And like,
Mate, not only that, I can tell you this right now, we are mobilizing it as part of a rebrand tactic. We took your tactic and we're using it as part of the rebrand tactic. So Envato is rebranding away from being called Envato Elements to now Envato.com. Entirely new look. We're doing all that this week. So if any of you are Envato people, if you have tuned in the last 24 hours, you can see the website looks vastly different.
oh,
Now, the way we're going to change it this month is we're going to tell our affiliate community, just like always, just like every month, we have your monthly YouTube competition. But this month, there's going to be a caveat. You can only win if you feature the new brand in your video.
huh,
So now we're mobilizing all these YouTubers to give us on-brand, newly updated content. So it's just another example of like, look at it through more than just your own independent channel. It
Yeah.
can benefit the wider business, your content
Love it.
marketing,
Love it.
rebrand your campaigns, everything you're doing. So yeah.
Oh, so smart, so smart. Love what you're doing there. All right, let's move on into a portion of like finding the right folks. You dropped a few names of some tools, data miner, After Effects, Social Blade, anything else like you can use to find the right partner, and how do you identify it when you're using these kinds of tools?
Yeah, so it's important to understand that YouTube in and of itself can be a great discovery tool. Now,
Hmm.
the YouTube algorithm is an ever improving content surfacing engine, and you have to keep that in mind. Whichever input you put into your viewing history in YouTube is going to affect what you see. I like to tell people, show me your YouTube feed and I'll tell you who you are. So essentially, you want to do the same thing. Start a fresh, new YouTube company account on Google, go to YouTube, start looking for nothing but content in your vertical. Only look at that kind of content that is relevant for you and your brand, and you're going to start seeing the exact partners that you want to work with surface. Now,
Nice.
that has been very helpful, but working at scale can be a challenge. And we, as much as we like my little data hacks and different scraping techniques, are still figuring it out. And we're still trying to find the right tool to discovery.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good segue into my sponsor of the day, and that is the folks over at the Influence Report. So, I've been in influencer marketing for a very long time, and the Influencer Report came to me and gave me the beta option of their product, and I've just been really happy with the results. It's a super innovative platform using cutting edge AI technology to help brands connect with the right influencers. Gone are the days of tedious hashtag searches and guest working. The Influencer Reports AI technology effortlessly sources, assesses, and monitors influencer campaigns, ensuring you find the perfect match for your brand. I've been using this beta product for the past few months, providing feedback so that they can get a better product and shaping it into a fantastic product for affiliate managers that they can use. Go get your hands on this product while it's still free. Sign up today, dustinhouse.com/report, and tell them I sent you and see if they can't give you a hookup. All right, back to business here. Um, we're continuing on that stream of tools. Anything else that you want to drop that you're using? You said
Yeah.
the YouTube algorithm is helpful. That is a great tip. Any other tools that you like out there?
Yeah. So I try to document everything that I do. So right now, if you were to tell me, Nick, what video is number 767, I would be able to tell you. I would also be able to tell you how many views they have now because I document everything, right?
Okay.
So I have every view, every video we've ever done, how many views they have, how many likes, how many dislikes, how many comments, all of that in live time, in live. And so how can I do that? Well, it's a tool called YT Tracker. So if you use Google Sheets, and I recommend that you do use Google Sheets because it is the best online data tool, I recommend you check out YT Tracker. So YT Tracker is ID based, as an ID based tool. Now, what does that mean? It means that every single YouTube channel has an ID. Your YouTube channel might be, youtube.com slash at Dustin House, for instance.
Okay.
That might be what it is, but it also has an ID. And once you get the channel ID and you paste it into a spreadsheet that has this add-on, let's say I type your ID into A1, you cell A1 in a Google
Yeah.
sheet.
Gotcha.
Well, what you're going to start getting populated on the right side of the columns is going to be, okay, this is the channel name, this is the channel URL, this is how many videos they have as of right now, this is how many subscribers, this is, you're going to get every conceivable piece of information updated constantly. So, for instance, I have a list of the YouTubers we've worked with. I have worked with a few hundred YouTubers over the years, and I have an ever evolving and updating live data source of how many subscribers they have. And the same thing for the videos I do. So
Okay.
whenever I record a video that we've done, I
Yeah.
just paste the ID into this YouTube tracker document, and it'll tell me how many views we have. And for the longest time, when I was going really, really hard on sending out a lot of these, when I did most of my YouTube work, which was about the time we started being able to use coupons, um, when I was doing that, I had to inform our senior stakeholders at Envato of how my efforts were doing.
Mhm.
Justify your time, Nick, right? So I had to go in and update, okay, how many views did this video get? And it
Right.
was like a monthly headache of
Yeah.
like manually updating all this stuff. So I went to Google and I was like, there's gotta be a way we can fix this. And YT Tracker lets me update this in live time, real time for less than $10 a month. It is
Fantastic.
an invaluable tool for me, and it's very simple. I just want a Google Sheet that updates automatically. It's not rocket science. I just need it to do what it needs to do, you know?
Oh,
So
that's such a good tip.
yeah. I also use Streak. So Streak.com is my CRM of choice. Streak.com transform your, if you use a Google-based workflow. So for instance, if I go to my Envato mail, my work mail, it is built on Gmail. So if you do that, if that is where you do your outreach and stuff, you actually can have a spreadsheet inside of your Gmail, and every single row is a partner. So I set up, it's called a pipeline, and it's like a new spreadsheet inside of Gmail. And every time I create a new row, I type in the name of an influencer, and I click a link, and that link ensures that all the communication I'm having with that influencer goes into a box. I can then share this box with my stakeholders at Envato, my boss, my boss's boss, and they can then click this one and have a look at all the communication I've ever had with this person, even though they weren't CC'd, right?
Nice.
So I hook this up to Impact. So the Impact data that I have, I feed in here. So if my manager, let's say I leave the company, looks at an affiliate ID on Impact, and it's like, wow, we have someone that's just going crazy in terms of revenue numbers. What's happening? Well, they can then go into Streak, look for the ID of the partner,
Mhm.
and they can see all the communication I've had with them.
Great.
So we're kind of building that out across the entire organization now. Since I've been implementing it, now all the teams are going to be using it
Mm.
because it's a good cross team reference to be able to see what other people have been talking to these partners about.
Awesome. Great
So yeah,
call.
there's a lot more, but those are just a few of the more valuable ones. Yeah.
It's so hard to find a good CRM in this industry that isn't super expensive and can do
Mate,
all the things.
that's why when Impact released Media Rails, which was for those of you out there who are in the affiliate marketing industry will know Impact, and they had a tool that aimed to do it called Media Rails. It was a CRM, and it was quite expensive. And I told them, well, I love what you do, Impact, but at the moment you are being outperformed by a $29 Chrome extension. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. um, yeah.
That happens. They built a tool out of demand and out of necessity, and
Mhm.
and then they're scrappy. And that SaaS model works. So Impact's got other things to worry about, and it's great to hear that there's a really good solution out there that's um,
Yeah.
I need to get on board and take a look at these guys. Um, so beyond that, negotiating deals.
Mm.
You mentioned 150 is the least amount you're going to pay a partner, and you're going to do this 3 times over. So that's an early budget. Now, what happens when you inevitably get an influencer that says, "I'm not doing anything for under $50,000"? Like, what's your process of negotiating with the folks that are just asking for
Yeah.
much?
It's a good question. I'm gonna just look at a spreadsheet here on the side of the screen. So the way that it works is, do you remember earlier I told you that we layer every single influencer in a row in a spreadsheet that's continuously updated with their content? That's in one tab, all of the creators' profiles. And in
Okay.
another tab, we have all the videos. Well, we also have a sheet that maps this up. And so we have an idea of average sponsored views per video, We get that data in there, and so we can pretty easily like get an idea of how much value we're extracting from this. We have impact in our own internal data warehouse, so we can have an idea of whether or not we're looking profitable. But essentially what I do is I take their proposed pitch and I've built something I call a performance assessment calculator, where I'm taking in their new pitch, and once that has been populated, I will see how it would have affected past performance if that particular new deal would have been implemented. So I just copy paste that onto past performance and see whether or not we would have been absolutely demolished by it,
Mm.
or whether or not it's something that actually is feasible. And very often I will, and in the spreadsheet, I have their offer, and then I have a counter offer column that I've built where I can play around with a few things. So I have a drop down that I select that has all of our IOs. For those of you who work with Impact will know an IO is a contract you can offer your creators. So they might be, Nick, hey, I want $5,000 upfront and my existing IO. Well, I can tell them, well, I can't give you 5,000, but I can give you 3,000. And then I select a different IO in the sheet, and whichever sheet I click on, or whichever IO I click on, will then populate the data and show what that hypothetical would have looked like.
Okay.
So it is a lot of data work. It is a lot of calculation. But essentially, you need to understand whether or not this is going to work, because you have views, you have click-throughs, and you have your conversion rate. You need to know these things, and you need to know what the new rate that they're offering would affect those numbers.
Okay.
So I have these calculator and tools that I've built. Yeah.
And them putting their affiliate link in the description is absolutely a must, right? And this is helping you judge that data and get a good.
Well, it's a challenge. I wish that I could tell you that, yeah, we know how much we're getting per video, but the unfortunate reality is you're never going to be able to do that.
Okay.
And well, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. When you work with impact and you work with affiliate links, well, you have to keep in mind that a lot of creators like to have what they call resource lists in their YouTube descriptions, where they say,
Okay.
this is the camera I use, these are my favorite books, this is my favorite author, this is where I get my groceries, whatever. Very often have this list of like tools
Right.
and that they recommend. And very often we will see an affiliate do a sponsored YouTube video, and they will have a link in the description. But in all of their other videos, they will also drop in the affiliate link in their description.
Sure.
They might have a Discord community. Very often you'll see folks have a Facebook group as well,
Mm-hmm.
which is very normal. So the affiliate links very often will be a little bit everywhere.
All right.
And because that's the case, I suppose I could use just a UTM, but the reason I don't want to do that is I want to look at the affiliate portfolio as a whole for this
Mhm.
partner. I want to see how the whole account grows and evolves. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Switching gears here, I think the biggest struggle I've ever had in affiliate and this overlap into influencer is getting budget for sponsorship from the
Mm,
brand and sign off. And it sounds like you guys are more than willing to buy sponsorships from these influencers.
yeah.
Uh, how do you as an AM budget for this? And like, how do I go begging the executive team to get this kind of budget?
I've never had to ask.
Okay,
So honestly, I don't know.
must be
I wish I
nice.
could tell you that this is my mastermind strategy, but Envato is a very digitally attuned and in sync company. They understand the necessity for these things. So I've never had to request a budget, and I would like to tell you that I do, but when I come to them and I'm like, okay, here's the math, here's the average views per video, outliers factored out. This is what our historic conversion rate has been for YouTubers of this particular demographic, of this particular audience, and I have old and past campaign performance data, and I can bring up relatively accurate performance assessments beforehand. Um, they don't decline it.
Okay,
So make sure you can justify your pitches, have some hypotheticals planned out, and measure those against the live results that you get.
Okay,
It's the
great.
best I can tell you.
What about the numbers you should bring up when you're trying to get this kind of budget? What if you don't have a ton of historical data, like maybe you have some YouTubers that have made
Yeah.
videos. What should we be pulling together to see if it
Okay.
would be a winner?
I think initially, if I could get $1,000 a month, let's scale it all the way down and be like, I can get $1,000 a month. Well, okay, I think I would try to find, you know, 2 or 3 YouTubers that
Okay.
I think are relevant, that are very small in my particular vertical, but whose views per video is disproportionate to how small their subscriber numbers are. They have a lot of talent. I would, for 3 months, I would run a video with each one of them. I would probably get my brand people involved, so we make sure that the USPs are absolutely hammered home, and I would make it certain that this is just not a sponsored segment. We have to be involved in the creative process throughout the video.
Yeah.
We can't just be sandwiched into a very skippable segment.
Mm.
All the view graph shows that people don't watch that stuff. So
Okay.
that's what I would do. I would try to make a compelling 3 month strategy with 3 partners at like a few $100 each a month. Do that for 3 months and look at it. If you are ROI positive, you very likely will be, because nano influencers who are talented have a disproportionate profitability to the major, more expensive ones. Do that. Get that small cohort together for 3 months. And at the end of those 3 months, you sit down and you're like, okay, which one of these can we afford to put on a 6 month contract?
Hmm.
And that's what you do at scale. It might be 2 of them, but then for the next few months, because you're ROI profitable, because you've already confirmed that these 2 are, you go out and you do it again. So you have this continuous stack of people that are delivering monthly YouTube videos, and you go out and you pile more creators on top of it. And all
Yeah.
of a sudden, you have this rolling engine of monthly YouTube videos from your people. These are your people because you work with them more closely. You have this cohort of influencers that represent your brand, represented well. And every month, I get to send out an email to my senior stakeholders at Envato, and I'm like, this is how my people are doing. And it feels incredible. Once you get the ball rolling, after a little bit of a buy-in, it's an amazing feeling. Um, yeah.
Awesome. Great job, man. I really appreciate it. It is time for you to defend your post as we wrap things up here. And your post of the day is we're 5 months away, but all I want for Christmas is an XDMA reporting filter in my impact.com reports. All right, defend yourself. Like, that seems like a shitty Christmas present, first of all. Like, secondly, like, I think you're shooting low as far as like gifting goes.
I can tell you a Christmas gift that improves your daily work as an affiliate manager every day for the rest of your life. With that is a pretty high ball. Because a good Christmas gift is one that gives you daily comfort, whether it's a pair of socks, but this
Ooh,
one right here works. But I can tell you, this is one that works because in 2017, I made a tweet and I said, "Hello, Google. All I want for Christmas is a partially formatted cell text. Hashtag not the whole thing." Essentially, I wanted to be able to bold one part of the Google cell, not the whole thing. And at the time, that wasn't possible. Google responded saying, "Hey, Nick, looks like Christmas came early," and they issued a fix.
awesome.
So, what I'm hoping will happen here, and you can tell Sarah, please, what I'm hoping will happen here is that inside of the Impact Data Lab, you can create these amazing reports. Impact rocks. I love Impact. But the problem is, I can see either monthly data or I can see daily data. Can a guy get a little bit in between here? Can I do a 7-day moving average so I can see impacts on weekly trends, please?
Okay.
So I'm hoping they will add that a 7 DMA, 14 DMA, maybe add my own number in there, so I can better understand the performance graphs.
Okay.
So
All right. Tell you what, I'm gonna make it happen. Uh,
yeah, you're gonna make that.
yeah, we'll make that happen. I'll get it to you next week, and you'll let the audience know.
Uh,
Uh,
good
awesome.
stuff.
Great. Love your ambition and your strategy here. How do we connect with you, Nick?
Well, given that this is going to be all over LinkedIn, just click on my name, the weird Scandinavian name.
Sure.
Click on it, hit connect, and if you have any questions related to influencer marketing, I'm not an expert. I've been doing it for a little bit, But if there's anything I can do to help you, or if you want you just some encouraging words along the way as you try to navigate these waters, connect and let's have a chat.
Outstanding. Nick, appreciate all the knowledge drops today. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Happy to do it, mate.
All right. All right, folks. Keep on recruiting and we'll see you out there. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.